Just breaking his own bar.
You're in, better not. You don't have.
Doesn't mean he gets old fashioned.
Oh, that's right.
Fast for that salad.
That's true. Oh, actually, I heard they don't make them anymore.
Well, that's all right. They still have Manchester 42 down there.
I haven't never had one. I need to have one of those.
Right, 42.
Long as it's good and thick.
Oh.
I heard those are good.
They are very good.
I don't even remember the name of it.
Or the big bottle of just like cooler.
I've never even been in there.
Hey, welcome back. So come back to.
You're always invited me to this.
Oh, I really do not drink the drop. I was in like a week at the rock.
I was not here.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, we went golf, we went down the rock.
Every once in a while.
I don't think you recall golf and what we did.
Yeah.
We chased the little white ball with our golf cart.
That's my style of golfing.
You swung that little L shaped fix at it. Only hit it part of the time. Yeah. Those things are hard to throw. Oh, sorry.
I don't golf because I don't like hitting a little ball as hard as I can and go looking for it.
I had one shot, you had to ask somebody where it went.
Yeah.
Anybody see that? I just wanted to go.
I'm like, where'd it go? Crystal was standing right next to me. Did she?
Aaron, can you hear us?
Down when you're looking for your ball, not out, because it didn't go very far. Oh, must have topped that one.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So Lloyd is en route, but he had a flat tire, so he's at Les Schwab getting his tire fixed. He may or not, may make it, I'm not sure. Currently, while with you, we have a forum.
Yeah, but we still have 4 minutes.
We have 4 minutes still, so if Lloyd does not make it, I believe steps will be, you will call the meeting to order. And then ask Kevin to make a motion to appoint Mark the chair if he makes it, because he's stuck in traffic. If not, then we take a quick vote of the board to nominate, I'm gonna say Kevin to run the meeting.
I object. I object.
Randy. Let Randy run the meeting.
Okay, Randy, run. We're kicking it down. Mr.
He's the past chair after me.
Okay, okay. Is that process?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'll make it generic on the first motion and just ask the board to appoint Commissioner Straub as a member of the executive committee to run the meeting.
Mayor McCarthy's gonna call it into order.
Okay.
And
And
then-
then a couple things, but then we'll take a vote.
March isn't, yes, he's late, then we can go to the next, the
Okay.
board will
We got
nominate.
everything set up for you right here.
That's
Okay.
You
passed.
guys were decide now.
Just make a motion to appoint somebody else.
So Mark's just parking right now.
Oh, okay, Mark's parking. he's on his-
Oh,
As the.
Okay.
Great.
So before everybody gets here, though, I was telling these folks here that Friday night I went down to Rock Island to the Rock and had dinner with Randy. And we had a great dinner.
You get tater tot?
I did not get tater tots.
you got steak though.
I got steak and broccoli. Gave Anna my shrimp, and then you guys had French fries. Garlic
Parmesan.
fries.
Parmesan garlic french fries.
But highlight of the evening is the karaoke that comes about in Bach. And the first one up was Randy, and he has actually a very good voice. It's entertaining.
You gotta pick the right songs.
What did you sing?
Roll me over, never.
No comment on that one. I don't remember what he sang, but it was very good. It was very
Me
good.
and Bobby McGee, that's what I
Oh,
said.
that's
My question, how many pictures did you have?
It was actually, yeah,
No pictures.
yeah, he was actually lip syncing.
Was he?
Yeah. Milli Vanilli.
And I let Nick slide the first time, but next time he's gonna get up and sing with me.
Yeah, you don't, it'll be more empty than it already was.
That's all you bottom boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
The only time I did karaoke, Selena picked the song and we did a duet. It's not pretty.
Never to be
What-
seen again.
What song was it, Selena?
It was bad. So I don't even remember. It was
Mhm.
bad. Really slow.
I told him we could do, I got you, babe.
That's what I told her we do. And it was actually in a bar in Richmond. That you had to go, that you had to go through, you had to go through an alley to get to.
Oh.
Oh, really nice place.
It's a real, it was found by Ed or whoever we were with at the time.
Speak easy.
It was something. That's too funny. Anyway, on our own time and dime. Hey, Matthew, how you doing?
Good, good. I have to admit, parking here is difficult.
Oh, is it tight over there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes that
we're at-
happens.
We're at 3, so we can have Eric. go ahead and open.
Aaron,
Yep.
go ahead and open the meeting.
Oh, great. Okay. Good afternoon. I would like to call to order the August 19th, 2025 Link Transit Board meeting. And I would also like to request the board to appoint Commissioner Straub to chair today's meeting.
Madam Chair, I'd move to appoint Commissioner Straub to chair the meeting today.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Overbay. Not sure who the second was. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you, Mark.
When you're late.
That's right.
It was so great though.
Okay, thank you. This tall fat boy had to run, so I'm not accustomed to that. All right. So we are. Give my bearing here. We had employee recognition. All right.
No, we need to approve the agenda.
We need to, okay. So everybody's had an opportunity to review the agenda. I would seek a motion to approve it as presented.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And we are going to move into employee recognition. Retirements, Eric West and Deborah Payne, who's presenting on
I
that?
will do that. So this seems to be the year of the 30 years plus are keeping us. The second and third, I don't know how first you put there, she put there. That's right, she put a notice in last.
Mine's the 31st.
She put her first, okay. Get up there. So you all know Deborah Payne. I hope. She was our guest services supervisor for 30 years.
Well, I've been in guest services for 30 years.
Yes. And there's not been another person in this organization has more passion for what we do here and for our guest. Oh gosh, I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
Experience, yes, our guest experience that Deborah has. She is such a great supervisor. We're open 7 days a week in guest services. She always works Sundays, so her staff doesn't have to. She is just a rock downstairs. She has taken such good care of us downstairs and will be a very hard role to fill. I tried to talk her into staying one more year so hard for so long, and she said, hell no. So anyway, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss you so much. But she has family back east in New Jersey.
Delaware, no, Delaware, not Jersey,
Okay,
no,
sorry.
Delaware.
Delaware. And so she's, her goal and what she wanted to do for retirement was hike up to Minotaur Lake,
Yes,
which a group of us led by Selena is gonna take place on September 12th.
yes,
So,
looking forward to
yeah.
that.
But Deborah, you've been, we all appreciate you so much and all that
Thank
you've
you.
done. Words will never really express how much you've done for us the last 30 years.
I've really enjoyed working here, and as all the new employees come in, I remind them all longevity, so
Yeah,
it does happen.
It does.
Yeah.
It goes by fast.
It does go by really fast. The last 5 years, you don't get there, when's it gonna be, and then all of a sudden you turn around and it's time to go, so.
Yeah, well, we're gonna miss you really, really a lot.
I'm gonna miss getting up and coming to work every day.
Keep talking, get a tear out of you.
Mark, could we get you a picture just really quick?
You really wanna do that? Don't ruin the moment.
Got it, thank you.
Boy. No worries. Eric. So you all know Eric. I mean, either from up skiing on the hill or get around town. Eric was, what year hired, 94?
95.
95.
Yes,
So he was a graphic designer.
actually, the first position was, the title was Community Outreach Specialist.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but I went with it, so.
But he was in charge of all the graphic design back in the day, from my recollection. And over the years, it's morphed into more than that. So everything that's been outward facing to Link Transit here has been involved in, charge of, and he's done all the work. His dedication to the graphics and the videos and the guest videos, guest.
Skid books, website, all that.
Right, but the videos of those guest experiences.
Oh, yeah, yeah, we'll see one in a little bit. so.
Yeah, those have been awesome. Eric's been, tell you, he's been here for a long time, like a lot of us, and he'll truly be missed. The things he does is, it's like anything that's, anybody who's been here for a long time, the things you do, you don't really realize what you do until they're gone. All of a sudden, look at this, Eric did that. And even changing out a schedule, any type of change that we have for a schedule or routes, yes, change all the schedules, coordinate everybody to go out and change, sometimes up to 500 different stops. And get them all done, and sometimes it's done in 24 hours. So it's been a lot of work getting those all laminated, getting all fixed up. The website, he designed a new website last year, oversaw that, which has been working out great. It's real time. When you go in there on time. So I mean, there's been a lot of, Eric's just been, he's had his fingers into a lot of things. So we hired Jennifer to help to take over the marketing, and she's gonna learn a lot from him over the next week or two.
Yeah,
And
4 weeks.
and then the big thing is Eric decided to take a little trip when he retired. Where are you gonna go?
Kilimanjaro, Morocco, if they're.
Little race.
A little
Yeah.
casual, relaxed.
So Kilimanjaro, you hike through 7 ecosystems, get to the top at 19,000 feet. So,
I'll do a few pics, you guys.
all right.
Usually Eric's taking the photos, but could I get our board chair or Lloyd?
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
I get to relinquish the chair back over to the legitimate chair.
Thanks, I'm not gonna make a motion, I don't think that's been done. It's ready. Okay, we're now to open the public hearing for the purpose of hearing the public comments on the link for 2025 through 2030. The transportation plan for 2024 annual report. All persons wish to be heard. This public hearing should be identifying themselves and the desire to do so, and have the sign-in sheet. Do we have anybody to sign in?
No.
Therefore, we will close the public hearing.
Anybody on that?
Do we need a motion on that?
Not
No,
yet.
then you should check online, see if there's anyone online that wants to provide any.
Is there anybody on the line? No?
Then call on Dawn to present this down recognition. So close the public testimony.
Close this, yeah, closing public hearing. Okay. Where are we at now? This one here, the last line, should we?
Last line.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, the public hearing regarding the 2025.
I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
okay. That's all
I
right.
wasn't paying attention. You never call him Don Billen to resolve the staff recommendation regarding.
Okay. Calling on Don Billens to present the staff recognition regarding the draft, the 2025-2030 transit development plan in 2024 annual report.
Thank you, Chair Smith, and good afternoon, members of the board. I'm joining you this afternoon from the Washington State Transit Association annual conference here in SeaTac, Washington. So today I'll be doing an overview of a report that addresses 2 state requirements and 1 federal requirement. We could go to the next slide. So our report today is the Transit Development Plan, which provides a 6-year look ahead of transit services and projects for Link Transit. It also provides the 2024 annual report. So those first 2 items are addressing state requirements. And then it provides what is called a program of projects, which is a federal requirement for a portion of our federal funding that I'll speak to later in my presentation. Next slide. So the document is divided into 8 different sections. It provides a background of our service, speaks to state and local goals. The plan consistency discusses county and city planning documents and how our services and projects are coordinated with those local plans. It outlines our planned capital expenses, planned operating changes, a financial plan projection out to the year 2030, and then Section 5307, Program of Projects, is the federal funding requirement that I spoke to earlier. And I would note that this year the document in some respects is a placeholder while we continue to work together on our strategic plan. Some items that are in the Transit Development Plan may be modified by our strategic planning process, but we do need the board to adopt the TDP today in order to meet these state and federal requirements. Go to the next slide, please. So some of our 2024 highlights. System-wide ridership increased by 21% in 2024 as compared to 2023. And that occurred even though service hours only increased by 16%. So that's a very encouraging sign that as we expand the system, ridership grows faster than the hours that we're adding, which indicates that there is demand for Link Transit services and that the agency is making good decisions about how to allocate new service. An example of the new service added in 2024 was the new Route 32, which is a circulator urban service in the city of Leavenworth. The agency also expanded the rideshare program to 19 active groups as of the end of 2024. Completed outreach on the redesign of East Wenatchee Transit Service that will be implemented this October. We contributed to the Chelan Douglas Transportation Council's Regional Pathways Planning Project. This is the project planning trails that will extend down to Rock Island, Malaga, out the Highway 2 corridor to Leavenworth and between Chelan and Manson. The Facilities and Maintenance Group initiated construction of the new bus garage. Columbia Station was renovated to provide office space for the coordinated entry program, helping people to obtain housing. We increased the number of electrical vehicles in service, and we completed the Ski Link and Waterville bus reps. Next slide. So looking ahead between this year and 2030, the plan outlines how service is anticipated to grow. So as I mentioned, between 2023 and 2024, service grew 16%. We're anticipating that service will continue to grow. particularly with the East Wenatchee redesign this fall. And then have included an additional 3% per year growth rate after that redesign, resulting in a total growth of 30% between 2024 and 2030. How these hours get allocated will depend heavily upon the strategic plan, where you will indicate your priorities for things like additional evening or weekend service, new rural service, or additional frequent service. Next slide. If we look at Link Plus and DART growth, here you'll see that we are assuming a future growth rate of 5% per year. So that's faster than the 3% per year assumed for the fixed bus route growth. And that's just based on what we have been seeing the last few years as the demographics of the district age, as retirement communities attract new residents. That demand is likely to continue to grow. But we do have a proposed initiative in our draft strategic plan to review Link Plus so that we can look at options to better understand what that growth may actually be and, if necessary, to manage it. Next slide. And then rideshare had significant growth over the last few years. We're assuming that in the future it will grow at 3% per year, but between 2024 and 2030, that will result in a total growth of almost 40%. Next slide. In the planned capital expense, these are largely projects where there's a high degree of certainty about the projects occurring. And again, the strategic plan may result in revisions to this list, but just to highlight a few, there is ongoing bus stop remediation work that needs to be done to provide ADA access, and we'll be talking to the board more about that next month. We're in design right now on some sidewalk improvements in the city of Kashmir. We have agreements under development with Chelan, East Wenatchee, and Wenatchee for bus stop and pedestrian access improvements. These are places where the local jurisdictions are doing street improvement work, and we're collaborating with them to achieve bus stop and access improvements at the same time. The Next Bus real-time information, these are electronic signs that let riders know when the next bus will arrive. They've been piloted in Leavenworth, but there are opportunities to expand that to Columbia Station and other major transfer points. Again, opportunities to collaborate with the city of Wenatchee on improvements on North Wenatchee. The city will be installing some queue jumps that help our buses get around congested traffic lights. And then in East Wenatchee, the Wenatchee Valley Mall Transit Center is due for a refresh and improved wayfinding.
Excuse me, Don.
Yes.
We had a question. Thank you, Don. Great information. But going back to the growth matrix, graphs that you had, how are we determining growth? Is it purely on ridership, or is it revenue plus ridership? How are we defining the growth rate? What makes that up?
Yeah, these growth rates for the bus service, really, if we could go back 2 more slides.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that 3% growth beyond the already implemented or programmed improvements is really just sort of the minimum that we need to be able to make schedule adjustments in the future as congestion rises, and to respond to, minor requests for new service. So it could be that in the strategic plan that you actually identify the need for additional service. So we're actually growing at a rate slightly lower than the anticipated growth in the sales tax rate.
So can you explain how are you determining growth?
Again, the 3% right now is just the placeholder to be able to respond to pressures that may emerge on the system. What happens with bus service over time is that as congestion gets worse, it takes longer to operate a bus route.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome. So let's go back to the capital project slide if there aren't other questions. We have also included potential safety improvements in Malaga and Wenatchee in coordination with county projects in those areas where Link may contribute to roundabout improvements. In the park and ride projects category, the city of Antioch is building a new park and ride at the south end of Antioch. Rock Island is a Link-owned park and ride that is currently a gravel surface and it is in design to be paved. And then in Monitor and Cashmere, there are opportunities for small additional park and ride facilities along the Highway 2 corridor. In the rolling stock category, beyond the delivery of buses that is underway this year, we are looking at 5 additional rideshare van pool vehicles to help meet the demand from groups that are currently on our waiting list. And then in facilities, of course, the bus garage is under construction, scheduled to be completed this year. And we're in negotiations with WashDOT for leasing some adjacent property of theirs to build a training facility for our bus drivers. Any questions on this list before I move on? Okay, next slide then. So this provides the estimated capital expenses for these projects through the year 2030. So $28 million in the replacement and preservation projects. That the largest share of that is simply as buses reach the end of their useful life, they have to be replaced. And then improvement and expansion projects, the $18 million under facilities includes the new bus garage. Next slide. So the program of projects, this is the federal requirement that I spoke to. So section 5307 is a Federal Transit Administration program that provides formula funding to urbanized areas. And we are required to identify how we plan to spend that funding and the local funding that will match the federal funding. So the agency historically has programmed those funds into operating assistance. I think really for 2 reasons. One, operating expenses are certain to occur each year. And 2, there really are not other federal or state grant programs available for operating expenses. So Section 5307 is one of the few grant programs that's flexible enough to be programmed into that area. So adopting this program of projects simply maintains our eligibility for those funds in the federal fiscal year of 2026. Next slide. So next steps, you already offered the opportunity for the public to testify. We will make any revisions to the draft plan based on feedback that you provide today or any minor copy edits that we may notice. We'll deliver this to WashDOT by September 1st. And then we'll continue to work with the board on the strategic plan, which, as I've mentioned, could lead to changes in either some of the operating projections or the capital facilities as you hone in on what your priorities are for the coming years. And that concludes my presentation, Chair Smith.
So, Selena, is there any written material that's been submitted?
There is not.
There is none. Okay. Floor is now open to public comment regarding the 2025-2030 Transit Development Plan of 2024 Annual Report. Persons who would like to address the board typically will state their name and the community. All comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Is there any public comment? There's no public comment, therefore we will this time close the public comment. Excuse me. Do the board members have any questions for Don? Didn't mean to cut you guys out, sorry. If there is none, okay, this time then we will close the 2025-2030 Transit Development Plan. The annual report is now closed.
The public
Okay.
hearing is now closed.
What is
The public hearing is now.
public hearing, excuse me, public hearing. Okay. Now, discussion items is next is the resolution 2025-15, the Link Transit of 2025 to 2000 Transit Development Plan of 2024 Annual Report. Will entertain a motion regarding the resolution of 2025 through 2025-15.
Mr. Chair, I would move to adopt the Link Transit's annual 6-year transportation development plan for years 2025 to 2030 and the 2024 annual report as presented.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any other discussion?
I have a question I should have asked Don earlier. As I'm looking at the financial statements, projected ones going forward. One of the things I noticed, and this is just curiosity, contribution to reserve accounts is treated as an expense.
It's usually drawn off or transferred. I have to look at what you're looking at, but there's a table the state likes us to use, which may be a little bit different than ours.
Okay.
So it is really subtracting off your revenues as an expense to roll back down into your reserve accounts.
Okay, not normal accounting.
No, it's a mixture of both cash and accrual, so it's a little.
I just wondered if there was some secret I didn't understand.
They're all secret. Is there any discussion, any further discussion? Okay, those all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? So that is. Okay, now, we're gonna open up the public comment. Okay. Right? Any of the public would like to make a comment, you're limited to 3 minutes. Is there any person that would like to? Anybody being posted? Anybody on?
No.
No? Okay, we'll hereby close the public comment. Okay. Then over consent agenda. Okay. For the. Yeah, okay, that's right. Okay. Sorry about being late, you guys, today, but it's not my doing. Okay, request approval for the minutes for July 15, 2025 board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
Right there.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, so it's passed. You know, get down that. Better, so they know.
Yeah, good.
Do it. No. So, hey, board administration communications. Okay, go and call Ann Esper to report the progress of the strategy point committee.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Quick report on our strategic plan. Our committee met on August 11th, and we had a great presentation by our awesome planning manager, Don, and he walked us through our priority list for inclusion into our strategic plan, and that is what our consultants with Transpo Group have been working on for us recently. Lots of great updates to the priority list. We walked through each of those major priorities, and the committee provided some feedback to staff as well as the consultants on those priorities. You can see those priorities in your packet. Yeah, we've made some really great progress, and we're sticking with our schedule that we have set from the onset of this project with this subcommittee. Looking forward into September, we have another review of the draft plan that will include that feedback that had been provided. And then we're hoping to get a finalized version of the strategic plan in October and hopefully approval in November at the board meeting so that we have this complete before end of year.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Ann. Appreciate it. Okay, at this time, we'd like to call on Nick for give the
Okay,
CEO report.
thank you, Lloyd. All right, so we had a great conferences going on, the Washington State Department of Transportation conference is going on, and that's why we had some of the folks over there currently. We did have on Sunday, the rodeo was a maintenance and bus rodeo. So the maintenance team came in 5th out of 9 teams. They missed 4th place by 45 points. Now there's 5 different modules with the maintenance. They have to go through and they have to figure out what's wrong with it, fix it, and it's all timed. And we don't have currently some of these modules, other the teams do, so it kind of leaves a different advantage to the other teams. But they were really proud of them. They did a great job, and we'll be back. We had great turnout for our regional bus rodeo here in town. We sent 3 operators over, one for the body on chassis, which is the cutaways. That was Miguel Farias. That was his first time as a state competitor. He came in 4th out of 7 competitors. Bobby Beeson, he's our 35-foot division. He came in 6th out of 9.
I think Bobby's the cut.
Oh, it's Bobby's. Oh, that's right. Bobby was the body of chassis. Miguel was a 35-footer. And then Roberto Torres was the 40-footer who came in 8th out of 11. So we had a great time, and we've got to give a big hand to Jennifer Therian. She was the one who, she's been on the State Rotary Committee for 10 years. She puts all this together. She does a fantastic job, and we hope she's chair next year. So stay level. The work plan this month, we have 1 policy update, carry-on policy, which Gabby will do a slight update to. We did start the marketing manager this month, Jennifer. We're currently in labor negotiations with a few meetings coming up. Eric will help Jennifer start promoting the new East Wenatchee service that's coming out in October. The state audit is going on, Peyton. There he is. Hey, how's it going? Good.
It's pretty much wrapped up.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, pretty much wrapped up, doing good on that one. Haven't heard about it, so it must be good.
One exit item.
Okay. The East Wenatchee service, we're in run cut now, so that'll be beginning in October. Transit development plan was just approved. Strategic plan is in motion. Capital projects for this year. So the guest service 2nd floor, Ed's just too busy. We got too much on his plate. Cafe takes precedence to the 2nd floor, so he's working on that. The Antioch Park and Ride did move to 2026. The Hay Canyon has been subdivided, appraised, and listed. And we have a couple of folks that are interested in the property. Rock Island Park and Ride, we've got a design, but it's gonna be pushed back to 2026. Sorry, Randy.
Oh,
Construction.
shock and surprise. It's the year 2040, we're finally gonna get something.
I see cars parked there, so that's good.
Yeah, they're using it.
Yeah,
Gravel works.
yeah. Manson, Bedoya Street at this point has been canceled. We'll see what happens next year. Chelan Lakeside Trail, so that is beginning, I don't know if anyone's been to Chelan, they're working on that now, and it'll be completed by the end of the year. The other two projects is Saunders Street and, I can't remember the other street in front of the church, putting a sidewalk in, there'll be 26 projects. We did get our 9 new buses in service, or our rides. We did try out some new dart vehicles for Chelan and Leavenworth. I'm trying to get rid of the old cutaways, body and chassis, they're just not very comfortable. We want to get a wrap in, more of a Chelan wrap and more of a Darts look to them. We tried out 2, a low floor Dodge Ram with, they have sliding doors like the front doors we have on here. It actually, it lowers. I think the drivers seem to like that one a lot, better than the high floor that we had. And our guests like the low floor better too. It's a lot easier to get in and out of it. So we haven't made any decisions yet, but we're looking at that to get new Dart vehicles out and about in those communities. Festivals. So Leavenworth, this Thursday, it has the block party, and we're introducing the Leavenworth bus. Sam, do you have a picture of the Leavenworth bus?
Let's see if I can get it. I've got this.
The last
video
icon,
queued up.
there you go.
I might have to reselect.
Yeah, so this was designed for Leavenworth, and can you make it any bigger?
Yeah, can you actually give me a moment to show it to the
Oh, sure.
virtual viewers too?
So we're pretty proud of this. This is for their shuttle. We have 2 bus wraps. One, they're the same on 3 sides, and the one side has more of a summer theme and then a winter theme. And so they'll be unveiled up at Leavenworth this Thursday. Anne has seen these, but she is the only city council person from Leavenworth that's seen them yet. But it's pretty cool. It incorporates all the things that you can do in Leavenworth and Maypole and Woody Goomsbaugh, the whole works. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
She spent donuts in the park.
That sounds good. You gotta be part of it. Franny.
And
Behave yourself, Bert.
do we have? The last one is How I Move video that Eric
So this is a project we started. Oh boy, a couple of years ago, maybe a little longer, and I think this is episode 8. And the theme is how I roll, and what it does, we profile different individuals in the community who make use of our services, anywhere from disabled folks, elderly, kids, really across the range of individuals. And this gentleman here is in the latest piece that was just finished yesterday, is a relatively new resident in town. If you listen to NPR, you may be familiar with him. His name is Peter Nyblom. And so this is a little bit about his story, his indoctrination with Link Transit. So. So these have been a really effective way of having real users of our system tell the benefits they gain from using transit. Our producer of these, Jamie Howell, who many of you may be familiar with in the area, he's put all these together. He does a fantastic job of interviewing the subjects, putting all the video together and really making a top-notch production. So we're pleased to have him as part of our team on that. And we're hoping to continue this under Jennifer's tenure. So if you know of anybody or family member, friend, coworker who may be a suitable candidate, please get a hold of Nick, Selena, or Jennifer herself to pass their names on, because it's really one of those things that the story never ends. It's always just nice to have new people telling it. So anyway, it's been a great asset to our marketing mix. So anyway, thank you.
The last thing is, thank you, Eric. These are great. They are, there is an article I'm in front of you from Jose Cuevas, who's one of our coach operators, who also is a Wenatchee City Council member. Okay. Special action.
Actually, there's a resolution 2025-16 for the city of Cashmere in a local. Paul and Samantha Miller, please, give us some information and insight on this, if you would, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So this first item presented to you is item 8.1. And what we did was we worked with the city of Cashmere. They had provided an easier turn for us on something that's more than a 90 degree. It's sharper than 90 degrees. And we've been working with them to also get a sidewalk put in that has just grass right there. So it's not ADA accessible. It doesn't meet any of the regulations there. And we put this into writing and also memorialize the ability to use this space for the 2 existing stops there. There's one that's just a pole in the ground as a transit stop, and there's one as a full transit shelter. And that side of the street with the shelter doesn't have the sidewalk. So there's some images provided for you in the exhibits that show what we intend to do and what's also existing. So the first images are what's there, which shows the shelter and the stop. And then the other image shows what we have as tentative plans for the sidewalks. It also outlines that the city is going to be responsible for any of the future maintenance of the sidewalks once the construction is completed, and we're only responsible for the transit amenities. Any questions on that?
I can mention that stop is one of the more popular ones in town, especially for crunch pack workers returning to Wenatchee. They all cross the railroad tracks and stand there on that rock waiting for bus.
Excellent point. Yeah, thank you.
I will abstain from voting on this.
I figured I would go ahead and state that our staff recommendation is to that you approve the resolution 2026-16, authorizing the chief executive officer to execute an interlocal cooperation agreement between Link Transit and the city of Cashmere for transit improvements and license for use within the city right of way and the right to work in the city right of way.
So moved. I can repeat that.
That was good.
Second.
Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, so that is passed.
Thank you. I was trying to
Thank
make
you. Very well done. Thank you. Okay. We done?
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Let's go. Yeah, we have. Samantha? We'd like to have you, if you would please address the board on the recommendations for the interlocal with the city of Chelan.
Yes, thank you.
You.
So this agreement is combining 3 separate projects that are going to be run by the city of Chelan. This limits the amount of times that we come to you for board resolution and board authorization, while still providing that transparency for what's planned. The breakdown is in the background section for what specifically is coming with each project, but we do have the not to exceed amount in the exhibit for each individual component's price. So exhibit A has the estimated costs that I just mentioned, and exhibit B shows the images for the planned improvements. I also wanted to highlight this is going to be probably our most efficient route to get these added in, because they're adding the cost into an already existing project rather than the cost of us doing these ourselves. Let's see here. Oh, we also put in there that each individual project can be paid once they're individually completed. And they will be constructed in 2026, so that will be allocated in the 2026 capital budget. Any questions?
Is the bus stop on 97 or does it get off the road?
Well, there's multiple bus stops included in this. So 97A, there's a new trails we're putting in. So we have taking our bus stops that are just stuck in the dirt on the shoulder now. We're actually having 88 bus stop paths put in along the trail.
So that can pull off.
Yes, and it's great. It's separated from the road, the trail is. So it's a very nice addition to Chelan. Saunders Street is, they put bulb outs and we just square them out. So the bulb outs will be square so they'll stop in the lane of traffic, have a place to toilet and actually get on the bus spot easier. Then Center Street is something we've been talking about for years. That is in front of the church across from our current park and ride on 97A. And just past Lakeside a bit, there's a bus stop in the dirt right in front of the church. It's just grass and we're actually putting a sidewalk down to meet it, so it'll be ADA accessible.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to approve resolution 2025-18, authorizing our chief executive officer to execute an interlocal agreement with the city of Chelan for the design and construction of transit-related improvements within the city of Chelan. Led projects in an amount not to exceed $460,000.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, any other discussion?
I would like to recuse myself from this vote.
Well, I do have a question. Because we are committing funds on a budget that has not been approved on this, is there and I didn't see it in here, is there a contingency in here that if that budget is not approved, that we're not bound to this at all?
We did not think about that. It was actually supposed to be coming out of this year's budget for a bus stop improvement plan budget, and that's where the funds were coming out. So that budget will carry on next year. So we were actually gonna put this separately in our capital budget as a separate line item this year, since we actually know the project's gonna cost now. So it's carry over.
So are we looking at potentially doing that then as a budget amendment for this year,
No.
or just going to be for next year's budget?
2026.
Okay. And I'm only asking, and not that I don't support it, because I do support it 100%. I just have a hard time sometimes we don't have a set budget that we are actually allocating funding in advance of actually even putting together a budget, or not giving us the opportunity that if something occurs that we do not have the funding, then we're now bound by this to provide that funding. There's no contingency for us to be able to then not do that if the funding does not make itself available by some catastrophic issue. So
Yes.
that's my concern.
There is a termination clause, in it, that either party can terminate the agreement with 90-day notice. So there are some rules to.
I know we're working on that, with regards to our budget prep and.
Yep.
So I did say the 90 days. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's my only
Consider
concern.
no, that's good.
Yeah.
Good thing.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Nick, can I ask a quick question on this? So for the Lakeside Trail project, you had called out specifically that the project would be paid for after completion of construction. So if the Lakeside Trail project bus stops are done in 2025, do you want to see that coming out of 2025 budget or roll everything to 2026?
We could do it either way. I mean, it could come out of the 2025 budget, because we have the funds available this year.
It might just address Commissioner Overbay's concern, since it is the largest of the 3 projects in there, and it is budgeted in 2025, that we keep this as part of the 2025 budget.
That would be fine. Yeah, because it'll be completed this year. I mean, Travis was on the edge whether it was going to be completed. We have January as a completion date.
Okay.
Originally, so if it does get completed this year, we can invoice it this year, that'd be fine. We can take it out of this year's budget.
Okay.
My question was, just for clarity, these amounts were budgeted in this year's budget.
No. So what we have is we have a bus stop improvement plan. We put $500,000 into it for things like this that came up. So this was eating up the majority of it. So that like Aaron, like we talked about, the two projects we moved to 2026, that's actually when they'll be completed. So that's when they'll be paid for. This one, for the 213,000, this will come out of that $500,000.
So the Cashmere one also is 2026?
Yeah, no, 2025, I believe, yeah. It'll be close to that 500,000, we're tapping up against it. But that is what that fund is for these things that come up that we don't have prior knowledge of. And improve our bus stops. Some of the things like when we do the last two projects for Aaron or for the city of Chelan next year, they'll be separated in the capital budget. And anything going forward, and we're probably gonna bump that bus stop improvement up to about $1 million, because it's just not covering the costs that we thought it would. We've had a lot of, to get up all our stops up to ADA two, and any stop we put in, we have some ADA requirements now that we've talked about with Aaron. And that requires, bigger pad. And so when we pour pad, we wanna make the pad, you can let 8 feet deep by 11 feet wide, so we can actually put a shelter on in the future if we want to.
Is there any other questions? Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? So this pass. Right. Resolution 2025-17, Abby. Please join us, thank you. Reported delinquent update.
This is for the carryover policy, right?
Yes, yes.
Make sure to bring it this time for sure. Okay, so, this is just a slight adjustment to our carry-on policy, but I also changed the formatting. If you remember last time, the format was a little bit hard to read. So we changed the formatting to make it a little bit more simpler, but also we will be going to the airport coming in October, and our current policy says you can bring luggage that is a carry-on size piece of luggage. Decided maybe we needed to expand that a little bit so that our service was a little bit more attractive. So took this policy and some photos of that particular piece of luggage to the safety committee. They looked that over. So we would know how something this size or its bigger brother would fit on our buses based off of bus type. So one thing I do need to note that I recognized right before I came down here was there is a typo where it says one suitcase uses length as the indicator. It says 18 inches and that should be 13 inches. What that is referencing is this piece of it right here. So this one right here is 11 when the expansion is done. So 18 wouldn't work out so great in between our seats. So definitely want to make sure that change happens. I spoke to Selena and Mrs. McFool when I came in and was told that I need to make sure to note that, and maybe you guys could vote on that now and we wouldn't have to come back next month. Either way. So that was the need for the adjustment, and that's why I'm here in front of you.
Do we have any questions?
I'd make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-17.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Point of clarity, is that with the correction that,
With the
Yeah.
13 instead of the 18 inches.
That was
Thank you very much.
good question, but that was what I was thinking.
It's not gonna work.
That is with the correction.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. It's passed. Thank you. Okay. Monthly financial report. Pete.
All right, before I go over the monthly financials, I wanted to point out the revenue piece of the board packet provided to you guys. I think it's the second page of the financials. Commissioner Agnew asked last month that we have a budgeted year-to-date column, so I just wanted to highlight that I added that.
Thank you.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to point out is that sales tax has that 2-month lag, so it'll look like there's a bigger gap than there actually is. And grant money is also lumpy, so just keep that in mind. In terms of the monthly financials, for the month of July, sales tax earned in May of 2025 was $2.75 million, which is over the budgeted amount for the month by 1.8% or $48,000. Year-to-date sales tax collections are 11.5 million, which is over the year-to-date budgeted amount by $685,000. Last year's year-to-date sales tax amount was $10.6 million, and we're over last year's year-to-date sales tax collections by 9.1% or $958,000. The budgeted year elapsed so far is 58% or 17.4 million. And our operating budget spent so far is 57% or 17 million. So we're currently under the budgeted amount by $385,000. For capital in the month of July, we bought a tire mount and balance machine from Mohawk Lifts for $44,000. We spent $31,000 with RH2 Engineering on the bus garage, $356,000 and $721,000 with Rimmer and Rotor on the bus garage. And we bought 3 new supervisor vehicles from Pat Armstrong Ford for $37,000 a piece. Any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks for taking that on.
Okay, all done. Gabby? Delivering the scoreboard, thank you.
Total system boardings, we're up over our goal of 112,435. We had in July 119,576. That puts us up over July last year by 4.9%. It is tracking about 4% reduced from June of 2025, so just last month. Any questions about that? Okay. 0 class 1 or higher chargeable accidents in July, so exactly what we like to see there. Total GIS complaints, we're up over our goal by 1. Those primarily came in as of those 11 on fixed or 10 of fixed route, we had 3 early buses and 3 passed by guests. So kind of 1 step forward or 2 steps forward, 1 step back on that. Last month we did a little bit better on the passed by guests, but it's all over. It's route 2, route 5, route 22, nothing very specific. So just continue to try to improve on that. Total guest commendations for July came in with 4. Kudos for operators. Total system cost per service hour, still below the goal of $166.60 at $145.36. So tracking in the proper direction there. Total system service hours, so this is a new page to the deck. We had in July 16,998 and a half total service hours, and in June we had 16,432 total service hours. I'm not sure where this one came from or
Yeah,
what some of the questions might be.
We'll talk about this. It's one of them.
Just wanted it in there. Okay, all right.
Wasn't Agnew, was it?
No, probably that one. This one I asked for a long time ago.
And this one's been on a regular deck. So budgeted cost per boarding, we want to stay under $22.06. We did that once again. So we came in at $20.66 on the proper side of the goal line. Wenatchee, East Wenatchee boardings by route. So we had, Route 2 coming in as our highest, although it saw a dip this month. So we had 8,901 boardings for the Route 2. That was still our highest Wenatchee, East Wenatchee boardings, followed by the Route 7. The Route 7 also saw a decrease, but it came in at 8,231. The growth we saw on the Route 4 in May, or compared to May when in June and July, so we're holding that growth. That's a 14.8% growth in June from May, and we held that for July. So looks like we might be developing a pattern there, and it might be just getting more popular. So, and also the Route 9 saw an increase. They had 5,703, and they increased by 3.5% for their boardings. So little up, little down, but intercity boardings by route, most popular being the Route 22. That their boardings for July went up 2.2%. The 122 also saw an increase of 8.9%. And then the Route 25 up to Waterville also saw a 2.7% increase. Route 22 followed by Route 21 as the highest achievers or highest boardings. And then Route 32, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a little caveat on that one. Because the Route 23 to Rock Island, I believe came in third with 2,503 boardings versus the 32 with 3,909, or sorry, 2,909, because we are running our festival schedule on the weekends for the month of July, which means that the 22 is truncating at Wilkeman, and those boardings are then going to the Route 32 for Leavenworth proper corridor, just because of high demand or high frequency vehicles on the road. Some WashDOT information that our planning department pulled, and so Route 32, I'm not sure it's really fair to say it's doing it, because we are pushing some boardings that way, so
I feel
thought,
bad.
yeah, thought we would make sure to caveat that and note that the Route 23 is also doing quite well. So. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Meeting adjourned, yeah. Okay, meeting adjourned as of. Is there any other board inquiries or questions? Therefore, we will adjourn from our meeting for the board of the Link Transit for August 19th, 2025. And now we will go into a closed session. That's right. Closed session board meeting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, right. So Aaron and Ann will stay on.
I've gotta take everyone else out.
Oh, yeah, is that? Thank you. Renee, what?
You should never.
Somewhere over there.
Yeah,
That's what this Thursday. Yeah, Travis. Travis is. That's great.
That's how they deal with finances.
So your idea is gonna go.
Well, if I go with.
Yeah. Well, look at here. We can shut this and shoot right out of it.
Thank you for your help.
Sorry about your flat tire.
One sidewalk.
Take it out and then back in.
And a lot longer, yeah.
And just share everywhere.
And they don't have to do 40 years of planning, so they do the sidewalk.
Get back in there. So that might be late. And then I go into the car and I have a 5 hours. What else can go wrong?
Maybe you shouldn't have been driving.
So I've been calling these guys, like, they probably have 20 messages. Trying to call, say, they're a flat tire, if I need to, I'll grab that link bus and come. I'll be there. They're watching these link buses go by, but I'm not getting hold of anybody. Right now,
You wave at 'em?
Jason puts the, where's my bus at on his phone?
Yeah. Wave at them.
All right, so as we, was Travis back? Yeah. So as we've talked about, we want to give monthly updates or updates and questions we have to the board of directors on the negotiations with the union. I think we've had 2 sessions with, that's 1 session. John is not here today. We have Julie will give a quick update and Aaron's here to keep us in good graces.
So not a lot to update, but we did have our first negotiation with Teamsters on July 16th. What they proposed at that point is primarily non-economic, so not a lot really to kind of be able to report back on. There's a few things that would have some economic impact, so we'll of course have to kind of wait and see what they come forward with an economic package before we can really respond to that, since it's all gonna essentially comes out of the same bucket, right? So, or the same pot, I should say, maybe it's better than bucket. There are some things like they would like us to go ahead and try and become a part of the Teamsters Retiree Welfare Trust. Those sorts of things. We are still working with John Lee on kind of going through their red line document and determining what their asks are and seeing if we need more clarification with our next session coming up in September, and kind of what we can go ahead and just respond back with either, no, we're not able to accommodate, or need more clarification, or what we can kind of work through with them. So. Anything you want to elaborate on that?
I mean, some of the things they identified as they wanted to change, or like some management rights or things that we identified right off the bat as not starters, it's not gonna happen, so let's just move on. And we appreciate having John there, because he's very good about, didn't get upset about it, but he's very good about saying, hey, this is not enough, this isn't enough starter, we're not gonna discuss this, so let's just take off. So we're not discussing, so let's just take it off the table. They do have some requests for, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but they want like time and a half for special services and a few of those
Some
other
premium
things.
pay
Premium
stuff,
pay
yeah.
stuff that would, if we do agree on that, that's comes out of our estimate, our overall goal, and which will reduce the wage increase or fully cover it. So, but we're not, like I said, we're, like Julie says, we're not even close to economics at this point. When's the next scheduled meeting?
I believe it is on the 10th.
Yeah, it's coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah. Check that out.
I would, I mean, compared to the last one, Gabby and Julie, is that there's not a lot of asks overall. I mean, it's been relatively.
Yeah, we did a lot in the last contract. We looked at our worksheets for our collisions. There was a lot of movement in economic with that, adjusting to the market change that needed to be done. So there's not a whole lot of ask or anything that's very surprising. At least for me, the premium pay is always an ask. Understandably. So some surprising things when it comes to, which is always surprising to me when it comes to some of the asks where that falls under management, right? So I always find that fascinating that somehow that's still an ask. Like we would be interested in that, but.
Not half as fascinating as that.
Some, how run cutting gets done, there's some interest in that, which, over the years, I think Leak has really worked with the union in that regard, so not a lot more interested for us, so we're playing a little bit of the meeting to make sure that we're listening and seeing where the concerns are, and where we can make some adjustments, we will, but not interested in some of what they've proposed.
What's the membership in the trust thing you mentioned?
So it's a retiree health benefit, so, it requires, link to contribute for each employee, for that employee then to be able to have health benefits once they leave Link. So it'd be both them and their family. And so it's something that would be rolled out to all employees. And so there's a pretty big,
That one definitely has an economic impact.
it does, and a large one. And from what I understand from John, also if something happens and you can, Aaron, I'm sure better say this than me, but essentially Link is on the hook, the employer is on the hook if that fund is no longer solvent or goes away. And so Link would have to have the entire burden of providing this insurance for employee or former employees.
I mean, it's a pretty developed fund. A lot of law enforcement contracts that are for Teamsters have it. You may want to do, John's probably really familiar with that. You can do some research on that. But it's just a continued benefit. It's really the biggest thing is the continuation for your family coverage. And then your own coverage for that period of time between when you retire and when you are Medicare eligible. And it does provide some supplemental Medicare coverage as well.
Right.
So it's a thing Teamsters pushes in all of its contracts. Cause it's their trust.
Yeah, my understanding it was brought last time as well, so.
It's their trust and we're liable if it goes bang.
Yep.
Is that one of those non-starter items?
Well, I mean,
It's a wonderful.
it's a wonderful
benefit.
part, cause right now, your benefits are under the same Teamsters trust. The Link Transit health benefits are through Teamsters Trust, and this is just an extension of it to retirees. But you have to fund the retirement portion of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a wonderful benefit, but it is very expensive.
What happens now if a retiree, like the two that just retired, if they get sick? What benefits do they have?
So if they're no longer able to work, then they would have COBRA benefits is all.
Or if they're over 65.
Until they're Medicare eligible.
So
It'd just be like any other employer. Yeah.
There's no benefits after you leave, after you leave on transit.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful benefit, but I just don't know.
Expensive. I
Yeah,
can't remember the dollar amount per month, but it was.
it depends on which plan. There's two different plans, and so it depends on which plan.
Some of the law enforcement ones I've seen are like a couple $100s.
Yeah,
It's the same one. I think they tried on our negotiations and it just didn't pencil out to, it was a new benefit, really. You're benefiting people so they can retire at 40.
Yeah.
Instead of at 55.
And it's where, for certain industries, that's a thing you might want to encourage. That's, I think, why law enforcement, if they're not layoff, they will have this benefit, right? Kevin can probably speak to that a bit. Cause you want your officers to kind of turn over before they're 55 or 60.
Yeah, unfortunately, my agency didn't have that benefit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's why I'm still working.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Julie or Gabby at this point? We will continue to bring updates as we have them.
yeah, and our next negotiations is September 9th.
Yeah, so we'll have another closed session in September. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Sorry, Kevin.
No, hey, it's all right. Yard just grew about another 5 inches. That's all right.
Where?
I gotta get her out anyway, so.
Now you can count.
Thought I had it down in my car, but I had it in my bag, so.
Oh.
I kept thinking that we did something with our sheriff's office. They had asked for that benefit. I thought that we had,
You might have been.
but we might have said, no. That's why I just pulled up their contract. That's why I'm trying to look at their contract.
Yeah.